Welcome back to episode 2 of College Basketball Full Court Press. I'm your host, Moon, joined with credential media members Jalen Wilson and Kevin Stokes. And this week, we're diving into some insane action all across the land of college hoops. We got SEC dominance in the ACC SEC Challenge, and we got some game changing moves in the AP poll to talk about. So let's just say it's going to be a packed show. But before we get into it, all time best Christmas movie, Jalen.
A Christmas Story, and I don't think it's close. Like Grinch is cool, but I think it's A Christmas Story.
All time favorite Christmas song, KT.
This Christmas, I forgot the original singer's name. God bless the dead, but the guy who did it in the '70s. Yes, that's my favorite Christmas.
That's
song.
one. We 2 for 2. We
Yes,
shooting.
yes,
We
sir.
caught them free throws.
Great job, Jalen. Too. That Christmas Story is the best Christmas movie. I'm proud of you, brother.
Let's start with the SEC ACC Challenge, where the SEC absolutely ran the table, finishing with a 14-2 record, and it was a statement all across the board. We had 11 of those wins coming by double digits, and the ACC just had 2 teams, Duke and Clemson, that hold down the fort. This is the first year of the SEC ACC Challenge, replacing the ACC Big Ten Challenge, where the ACC did a better job of competing in. But with this one, we saw struggles really across the board with only Clemson and Duke winning. Let's talk about your overall insights for this ACC SEC Challenge, Casey.
This was interesting. This is really interesting. We look at the college football landscape, right? And looking at the college football playoff, what we saw in the SEC was, even though they are the premier college football conference, we saw a cannibalization of sorts because only 3 teams got in. We look at the Big Ten; they were able to get 4 teams in. Well, college basketball is completely different. Only 12 teams make it to the college football playoff. College basketball, we get 68 teams in. I was looking at Jay Lenardi's, and I cannot wait till he starts going with 2 uploads a week for bracketology. And he's predicting, as of last week, as many as 12 SEC teams entering the tourney, and as it currently stands, the worst record in the conference is South Carolina at 6-3. The second worst is Texas at 7-2. This is the type of quality basketball you get in the SEC. We have 11 teams in the SEC with records at 8-1 or better. And then Jay Lenardi had roughly 5 ACC teams getting in. I think the fact of the matter is the SEC is the premier basketball conference. I mean, hell, we seen a middle tier team as far as the SEC is concerned in Missouri dominate Kansas last night. It is what it is. The SEC reigns supreme, and it's just that simple.
How do you feel about it, Jalen?
I mean, I agree. Like the ACC it's like a 2-3 team race at times. Like Duke, UNC, and then Virginia. Is what it's kind of has been in the past. And I guess you had NC State last year, but it's like outside of Duke and UNC for the past couple of years, it's like nobody's too much of a threat consistently. In the SEC, I mean, yeah, they've recently started getting like teams in and start becoming a more quality conference when it comes to basketball, but they're the better conference. Alabama, Ole Miss, Missouri, Oklahoma, who am I forgetting? Florida,
Tennessee,
Kentucky,
Auburn.
Tennessee,
Yeah, it's a lot
Auburn.
of teams. Yeah,
like it's just that much better than ACC.
Why was this such a dominant ACC SEC Challenge? We saw some high performances from players all across the board. When I give you a stat line, y'all can both tell me the first thing that comes to y'all head. Clemson's PJ Hall went for 26.6 rebounds in the win over Alabama.
Not surprising.
Not surprising. What about Alabama's Grant Nelson putting in a complete performance, 24 points, 9 rebounds, 4 assists versus Clemson?
Returning stud.
What did you think about Kentucky's Antonio Reeves going for 5 threes versus Miami, putting up 21 points?
I I'm trying to keep it short-winded. I'm like, I just want to say a shooter, but he's better than a shooter.
Mm-hmm. Let's talk about Selection Sunday with the ACC getting penalized with their performances over this past week. Do you think that this could hurt them when it comes to Selection Sunday in the tournament?
As far as seeding, yeah. As far as getting to the tournament, not really. But
And now that
I'm not. I don't know. I think it all depends on, like, of course some things will play itself out throughout the season, but I don't think it might I don't think it'll affect the teams when it comes to getting in the tournament. When it comes to seeding, it will.
yeah, that makes sense. The SEC's dominance wasn't just about like the top tier teams, because we saw Auburn lose to Duke in that game. But let's talk about wait, before we go. Do you have anything else to add for ACC SEC challenge?
Um, Isaiah Evans,
Mhm.
but he have KT like 6 threes.
Yeah, he came off the bench. He hit 6 threes. Him and Cooper Flag offensive performance versus Auburn was amazing. They combined for 40 points. And then I can't go without saying Malik Brown, job well done on Janai Brown. Mark Sears and LeBron Fightline versus North Carolina. Mark Sears going for 20 and 7 assists. Fightline had 15, 4 rebounds, 4 assists, and 3 boards. High flyer, Trey Davis performance versus Louisville. You know what I'm saying? With 20 points, 4 boards. We saw Louisville give Duke all that they could handle last night, and Ole Miss dominated that game 86-63. And yeah, I mean that's pretty much what I saw from this challenge.